Mr. President, America's farmers and ranchers got some good news at the end of last week. After a lot of hard work from members of the Agriculture Committee, Chairman Bozeman released the text of a 5-year farm bill, which is slated for a markup tomorrow and will, I hope, be headed soon to the floor. Mr. President, as someone who hails from an ag state and has been part of the drafting of now 5 farm bills, I know how important the farm bill is and how much work goes in to getting it right. As I made clear at the start of this Congress, America's farmers and ranchers are a priority for this Senate majority. That started last year with the Working Families Tax Cuts, which strengthened the farm safety net, bolstered critical farm programs, and delivered tax relief to America's agriculture producers, including relief from the unfair death tax and making the 199A deduction permanent. And it continues this year with this farm bill, which builds on the important measures in the Working Families Tax Cuts to give farmers and ranchers certainty into the future. After the Working Families Tax Cuts raised reference prices last year, this farm bill makes further improvements to commodity programs as well as crop insurance, cornerstones of the farm safety net. It modernizes farm loan programs to get America's next generation of farmers and ranchers off to a strong start. And it strengthens other programs that producers depend on. It improves the emergency assistance for livestock programs so that it covers the cost of hauling feed or water and opens the program to producers dealing with drought or other adverse weather conditions. And it includes my CRP Flexibility and Improvement Act, which will make the Conservation Reserve Program a more working lands-oriented option for producers. Mr. President, CRP plays a very significant role in South Dakota's economy by helping to provide habitat for pheasants. But producers in my state have been frustrated for years with how the program is managed, in particular by the fact that its restrictions on land use can be excessive. And that's why I introduced the CRP Flexibility and Improvement Act. My bill allows grazing options, including fencing and water distribution on all CRP acres. And on top of that, it increases the annual CRP payment limits for the first time in the program's 40-year history. This bill will make CRP an attractive option for more producers and open up access for livestock forage in drought conditions. Mr. President, the Farm Bill also includes a number of bills I've worked on that make it easier for producers to do business and to get their products to market. It includes a bill I worked on with Senators Grassley, Klobuchar, and Baldwin that establishes reporting requirements on fertilizer prices, which will bring more transparency to the fertilizer marketplace by helping producers make more informed and cost-effective choices for their operations. Another bill of mine, the Promoting Precision Agriculture Act, will facilitate the creation of industry-led voluntary standards for precision ag technology that will help more farmers adopt this promising tool. And my Strengthening Local Processing Act gives smaller processors access to critical information and allows more meat products approved by a state inspector to be sold across state lines. Mr. President, the Farm Bill is about more than just what happens on a farm or a ranch. It also supports America's rural communities. That includes water infrastructure, rural development, and health care, among other critical services. It also includes our continued efforts to provide broadband in unserved communities. And I'm pleased that this bill will help ensure that broadband dollars are going to communities that need it, places where 90% or more of the residents lack access to basic internet services. Mr. President, there's a lot more I could talk about with this bill, a lot more. This is a bill that will provide real support and certainty for America's farmers and ranchers. And that's good news for all Americans who depend on our hardworking producers for food, fuel, and fiber. And fuel, Mr. President, is the final thing I want to discuss this morning. Mr. President, for decades, the seasonal sale of E15 has been a win-win for America's farmers and for the American people. It has strengthened the agricultural economy while providing the American people with an affordable source of homegrown energy. And for many years, Mr. President, it's been a priority for me and for many of my colleagues here to allow E15 to be sold all year. Mr. President, it's taken a lot of work to get here, but I'm very proud that this Farm Bill delivers permanent year-round E15. This is something that is going to further help producers and help bring down fuel costs for all Americans. And I want to thank Chairman Boozman, as well as Senators Daines, Capito, and Fisher for all of their hard work on this issue. I'm looking forward to getting it across the finish line. Mr. President, I spent a lot of time with farmers and ranchers back home in South Dakota. They talked to me about the uncertainty and the headwinds that they face. And I've listened to their priorities and made them my own. As I said, America's farmers and ranchers are a priority for this Senate majority. And with the working families tax cuts and now this farm bill, we're making real progress on the challenges facing our producers. But of course, our work is never finished. There will be more to do in the future to support and strengthen American agriculture. And America's producers can be confident that their needs will always be at the top of my list.